What is up, everybody? It is Life's Apprentice running some dumpsters today, but today's video is going to be how we prioritize our customers. One of you guys in the comments suggested that I make a video about this, and today's going to be that video. So we're going to figure out how we prioritize customers, drop-offs, pickups, and yeah, here we are. We're at a pickup. We're going to get this picked up. Big roof here, so this one's going to be pretty heavy. 15 yard, and I don't know if it's completely full of shingles, but it's pretty full. So we're gonna get this picked up and we'll get into the video. All right, so let's talk about this dumpster, for example. It's about 45 minutes from the house. I left the house at about 6:45 or 7. This dumpster was actually ready for pickup yesterday, and Chelsea would have been able to pick it up yesterday. We had time. I was not driving yesterday. But we had a 15-yard drop-off this morning. So I believe that's at 9. So we chose to let this sit for an extra 12 hours or something like that, so that I could pick it up this morning, take it to the dump, and then take it to the next customer. So that's how we prioritize this pickup. And we usually try to set our first dumpsters that we set in the morning. Turn down the music here. The first dumpster that we set in the morning, we usually try to schedule it for somewhere between 8 and 9 a.m. And that allows us to hopefully pick up a dumpster of the same size before the 8 or 9 a.m. drop, and take it to the dump, then take it to the next customer. Not only are we prioritizing that way, but that's making us more efficient, and it's costing us less money to do so. So just by picking this one up, I can tell you this one is freaking heavy. So we're gonna get this bad boy to the dump. It is 7:45 now, and we gotta get it to the dump and get it to the customer, I believe, at 9. All right, well, here we are at the yard, and we have a lot of freaking 20 yards. And it's amazing how it seems to go in waves where, you know, for one month you're selling a lot of 20s, and the next month you're getting rid of a lot of 15s. And today is gonna be 15-yard day, it appears. But as far as, I got that last 15-yard dropped off, and right on time, which is really important. One thing that we hear a lot in the dumpster business about the competitors is that they're never on time, they're always late. And you know, you hear about all that kind of stuff, and we don't want people to be talking about our business that way, so we need to make sure that we do our absolute best to be on time. That's huge. Now, prioritizing, I'm dropping a 15-yard now, and my next is actually a 15-yard pickup, but I don't have enough time because the customer, one of them wants it at 9, one of them's getting it at 9:30. The yard was very close to my last drop off, so it makes sense for me to get this, take it to the customer, then go do the pickup. And so we have to be flexible with the customers, and it would be a lot easier to just go pick up that 15-yard, take it to the dump, and then bring it to the customer. But if that doesn't fit in the customer's schedule, then we have to do what we have to do. We want to be efficient as we possibly can and schedule customers in the best way possible. But at the same time, we have to provide the service that the customer wants. I hope that makes sense. I think it should, because it's business and it's a service industry, and that's our job. So we're gonna get this 15-yard picked up and take it to its new home, and then we got quite a bit left to do today. It's still early. It's only like 9:15 right now. But I'm gonna stop talking to you guys so that I can be on time for this delivery. All right, well, plans changed. It's only been like 15 minutes since I picked up that 15-yard. I got that 15-yard dropped, was right there. Now it's at the customer's, got paid for that. Now I got a 20-yard set. I was supposed to do a 15-yard pickup. I don't know if that got canceled or what, but another thing that we prioritize is drop-offs. We try our best to pick up full dumpsters and take them to the next drop. But I mean, it's only like 9:45 a.m. This will be my third set of the day, and I've been to the dump once. And I do have more pickups. They're just not 20-yard size. Now, we're prioritizing the drop-offs over the pickups because somebody obviously called for a 20-yard and wanted a 20-yard, and I'm in the town where our yard is. This is being dropped in the town where our yard is. So my drop-off just got pushed back a few hours. Being that it's the wrong size. This customer must have wanted it. It's supposed to be there at 10:30. It's like 10 to 10 right now. So we push back the pickups. And this is one thing that I'm trying to work on doing. We try to pick up our dumpsters when they're supposed to be picked up within 24 hours. But I think that I'm gonna switch that to 48. And the reason being for that is within 48 hours, that gives us an entire day to still adjust the schedule for those pickups to be taken to the next drop-off. But when you have time and you have pickups, you just do them and just try to get the dumpsters empty so that you're able to set them back out as easily as possible. But you have to be flexible. So when prioritizing, you have to be flexible and you have to do what the customer asks. Usually the customers are pretty flexible within reason. This particular customer on my docket notes says that it's already paid, so they're not even going to be there at 10:30, but this one got prioritized in front of my pickup because I was in the town and able to do it now. So we're going to go and get this 20-yard set, and then we're going to do our pickup. And it's really not that big of a deal. We only push the pickup back a couple of hours. It's not that big of a deal. So don't feel bad by doing that. And that's just part of the business. And we have to make sure that we are efficient. But we don't want to leave dumpsters sit for weeks on end or days on end with the customers calling us, just waiting, hoping that there's somewhere to set it. We have to provide that service and pick up that dumpster within reason when the customer wants it.
This new trailer is way faster. The hydraulics work so much faster on this. I don't know if it's just because it's new. Dave at Nedlands told me that they put a new pump in it, and it's a faster gallon per minute or whatever hydraulic pump. So that probably has something to do with it. But you see these rails still got paint on them. They're barely even scratched, and we've used this one quite a bit. Did you guys just see that? That was crazy. What was it? What happened there? I was lined up well. Oh, I bet you. Oh, it was stuck in this new gravel. That was weird. Well, I'm way out of line now. We're gonna have to try that again. That was nuts. I've never seen that before. Leave a comment. Have you ever seen that before? I've never seen that. Whoop. Well, we cannot pick it up. Look at that. That thing jumped like 1.5 feet.
All right, well, I just had a thought about prioritizing, and you're gonna have, when you get into this business and you're in it for a while, you're gonna have those customers that are repeat customers. They're really good customers, and they use you, fairly often, whether it's, clean out people, construction type people, roofers, things like that. Those people in general, you're always gonna wanna prioritize those repeat and those good customers. But there's also a thing, like, with those customers, those ones are usually some of the most flexible customers. And so they might not always get prioritized because they know you, they trust you, and they're gonna be a lot more flexible and lenient with you based on your schedule. They're also the people that'll call you sometimes at the last minute and say, hey, I need a dumpster, and you gotta try to help them out the best you can. But just because I think that even though they should be prioritized, usually they aren't, because they are some of the most flexible customers. So that's kind of the opposite of what you would think, that they would always be top priority, but usually, and they are priority, don't get me wrong, but usually they can be very flexible with you. And a lot of times, like a repeat customer like that, we're a lot more willing to set a dumpster without getting paid on delivery, because we trust them and we have that working relationship with them. So it gives us a little bit more flexibility, and but definitely always take care of your your repeat and your good customers that are calling you several times a year or several times a month, or whatever.
The dogs are barking, but I'll show you guys what we use to protect the driveways. This is just like a foundation. I don't know, it's made out of vinyl, but it's like it's made to cover up the bottom of a foundation on a house, like where it goes into the ground. And
you can get rolls of this stuff and cut it down, and it's not going to prevent like cracking or anything like that, but it's going to prevent the wheels of the dumpster from scraping or scratching concrete. The other thing, we always keep lots of boards, so if you're worried about cracking or a heavy can or something like that, you're going to want to roll out like 2x6s or something like that underneath your wheels. And then we use a 2x6 or 2x4 or 4x4 underneath the front of the dumpster to keep it off of the ground. If you guys, I mean, this is a really nice neighborhood here. These are half, $750,000 houses. We're going to prioritize, you know, these nice driveways. You can see what we're using here. It's like that foundation stuff. It's just a thin piece of vinyl. It's maybe an 1/8 inch thick. And this is going to prevent those wheels, if there's rocks on them or whatever, from scratching the concrete. Like I said, it's not going to prevent it from cracking, but we've never had any issues with that. And if you have like stamped concrete, like there's stamped concrete right there, if you have that on a driveway, you're going to want to be real careful with that too, because you can definitely mess that up, scratch it and scar it. So number 2015 dropped, and that is complete. All right, well, we just picked up a 15 yard. That was the 15 yard that I was supposed to pick up earlier, and come to find out, it's a repeat customer, and they needed it for a little bit longer. So like I was saying before, you prioritize those type of customers, and they needed a little bit longer. They've definitely ordered dumpsters, I don't know, multiple times from us that I know of, and so you let them have it for an extra couple hours because that's just good service, and we're not charging them anything or nothing like that. But that's why the schedule got rearranged a little bit, was because of that. So now we're gonna take this one to the dump, and I think that might be it for the day. But as far as customers and prioritizing and things like that, there's no right or wrong way to do it, and depending on the day and the situation, it's always going to change a little bit, and it's never going to go perfectly ideal. Our job as business owners is to, number one, make sure that our customer service is on point, and number two, try to make ourselves as efficient as possible. And we need to try to find a balance between good customer service and efficiency. And if we can do that most of the time, not all the time, good customer service and efficiency equals, you know, a good, hopefully successful and profitable business. So that's our job as the business owner, is to try to figure that out. And everybody probably does it a little bit differently, but that's how we do it. And you also have to understand that, you know, some days all you have is pickups, and some days all you have is drop-offs. And so those days when it's like that, you can only do so much. It's nice to have a good little bit of a mix between. I think that if you had all one size dumpster, you could make yourself more efficient in that sense. But once you get to scale, I guess it's just hard to stick with one size of dumpster, in my opinion, because people want different dumpsters and different size dumpsters for different reasons. But if you had all one size dumpster, your drops and your pickups would be a lot easier. Now, like this one, for example, I'm taking it to the dump, but I'm not going to take it back to the yard. I'm going to take it back to my house. It's going to stay empty on the trailer. And there's a good chance that maybe tomorrow I have to drop a 20 yard or pick up a 20 yard, and I'll have to take this to the yard. But there's also a chance that I might need an empty 15 yard in the morning. So that's another way that you can prioritize customers, is if you're scheduling something for the next day and you know that your last pickup on, you know, a day like today is a 15 yard and it's going to be on the truck, and somebody calls and wants a 15 yard, well, then we want to try to prioritize that customer into the beginning of the day so that we don't have to swap out cans off the trailer, if that makes sense. Now, that doesn't always work, and you know, I would say, you know, it's a 50-50 or a 25% chance, but when it works out, you just saved yourself driving and, you know, time. So that's how we do it. So we're going to take this bad boy to the dump and call it a day. It's about 1 o'clock now, And that's gonna be it for this video. So leave some comments if anything I missed, or maybe you want to add to it that works for you as far as prioritizing customers. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and we will see you guys next time.